today we're waking up. It's an absolutely beautiful day, especially compared to what it was yesterday. But we're waking up here in Gulf Shores, Alabama again. And we will be heading home later today, but first, before we do that, we're gonna head out onto the peninsula, to the very tip of land, to a place called Fort Morgan here in Gulf Shores. I have been there before, but none of the rest of my family has, and they want to see it, so I'm really okay with going back out there again, because I mean, the place is really cool. It's haunted. It is just an awesome place, and I'm sure it's probably always a lot of fun, always. So today, before we head home, we're going to be checking out Fort Morgan here in Gulf Shores, and then we'll get on the road right after. It's going to be a lot of fun. Fort Morgan was built in 1834. It was actually built for the War of 1812, but they didn't have it finished in time. But it opened in 1834, and it was used by the U.S. military through 4 wars. The Civil War, it survived the Spanish-American War. They used it in World War I and in World War II before it was decommissioned and turned into this park now, the state park. Fort Morgan, well, and even Gulf Shores, it's actually, as I said in the intro, out on a peninsula, as you can see on the map here. It sticks out into the Mobile Bay, partially between Fort Morgan and the land there on the other side. There is another island, which is Dolphin Island. Well, during the War of 1812, the government felt like the port of Mobile and the Mobile Bay, it would be a prime attack point. So they decided to place 2 posts on either side of that bottleneck to keep any unwanted guests out of the Mobile Bay. So they commissioned Fort Morgan here on the Gulf Shore side and Fort Gaines over on Dolphin Island. Now today, we're not going to Fort Gaines. We're only checking out Fort Morgan here. We'll walk through the fort, and it should be a lot of fun. As I said, it was used for 4 wars. The later 2, World War I and World War II, Fort Morgan was only used for training, for like artillery training, which is where this gun would have came from. I'm not sure if this was a gun that was actually stationed here or not, or you know, if it was just purchased by this historical site to put on display. But the guns they would have used for training here would have looked like this. Fort Morgan, being a peninsula, it's surrounded by water on 3 sides. And there's beaches surrounding all of it. And obviously there's dead fish too. That's weird. Firstly, before you actually enter the fort, they have a gun position out here in front. I believe it was built later on. This was called Battery Schneck, I think. Either way, there would have been 2 giant guns stationed up here, pointed out over the bay. And I really have no clue what this thing was used for. Maybe a machine gunner cubby or something where they could duck down, or it was pretty thick. The Battle of Mobile Bay. Now, I am in the humor. I will have it out. Damn, the torpedoes. The ferry's leaving. There's the entrance to the fort right there. Battery Thomas. No. This is no Billy. Basically ammo storage. Keep big the shells that go in the giant gun batteries in here. Look at this old steel door. That's awesome. One of Battery Thomas 4.7 rapid fire guns.
Yeah. Go run on down back that hallway, yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Mom?
Look right when you people.
This is a secret room. This is a super secret room.
Super secret.
I bet there's some haunted activity going on in this back room. The only way to get back here was through this crazy tunnel.
Oh, in here.
It's the only way to get in here, and this tunnel leads only to that one little room. That's wild. Instead of going back down the long staircase, we're just gonna walk right down this brick ramp here that I'm sure was built for them to move supplies kind of easily to these outer batteries. We're gonna walk down this brick ramp and right into the middle between the outer rim of the fort and the fort itself. This place is massive. I can only imagine how much brick and concrete it took to build Fort Morgan. This is just the outer. This is all the inner Fort Morgan here. The moat surrounding it. Apparently, brick and concrete were the only construction items that were available to the people who built the fort, which is why the fort is built the way it is. Pieces like these giant chunks of granite here had to be shipped in from New York and then installed here around the fort. From the outside, this place looks scary. I mean, there's gun hole after gun hole after gun hole all the way down the side of the fort, just waiting for any soldiers who may have made it up from the beach to get here. It looks like they have built an entrance over here. Oh, wow, the temperature really drops when you come inside. Big time in here. Oh, look, you can still see the tracks they use to pivot the guns left or right to shoot at anyone coming from this direction. That's wild. You can see all the way down the fort here. I mean, just picture in your head. Just picture standing here in 1864, looking down this pathway here, when all you would have been able to see is cannon after cannon after cannon all the way down, just pointing right out to the beachfront. I'm sure it was probably pretty intimidating. And out of the tunnel into Fort Morgan. There's tracks here that run across the entire property, so they could have carried supplies back and forth from outside of the fort in, and then they can disperse it wherever it's needed, anywhere inside of the fort. To the right, there's two rooms over here in this corner that are different. They're actually painted blue. This is the Laundress Quarters. So they did all of the laundry for all of the soldiers stationed here at Fort Morgan out of this room. This is the Fort Morgan Soldiers Quarters. Yeah. The soldiers could come to go to sleep or take a break or eat. And their religious quarters, so they could come go to church on Sunday. They had guns positioned here that could rotate. That almost looks like it could lead down to a secret underground tunnel or something. That's kind of wild. Look at that brick pattern there. How they are, yeah, that's really cool looking. But this thing would be loaded up with guns. I will say that I know that there have been paranormal investigators here before, because this place is said to be really haunted. Look at this. I'm guessing that's from like the salt, but how it's all built up everywhere, that's kind of neat.
You can see it right over
there. Yeah. Oh, and look at it hanging down from the ceiling there. It's really interesting. Obviously, you've seen Bella is here with us. Fort Morgan here in Gulf Shores is extremely dog friendly. They're allowed in the beach, they're allowed in the fort, they're allowed inside, indoors. You can take your dog anywhere here, which is really neat, really cool. There's not a lot of places out there like that. And you can see that lots of people bring their dogs. Right here, through these doors, under the Battery Dupertel sign, there is a room back here that is completely covered in handprints. They say that all of these handprints just kind of showed up one day, that they have no clue how they got here. There is a urban legend or a myth or a story that these handprints belong to all of the people who died here in Fort Morgan during the Battle of Mobile Bay. And their spirits, are trapped here inside of this fort. I know a lot of paranormal investigators come here and they always get paranormal activity from the fort. Who knows where it all could be a joke too. They could have put them here just to mess with people, but it makes for an interesting story, that's for sure. Back in here is where they stored and moved all of the giant ordnance, the giant shells that they would use for their big guns. And then right here, they had some kind of lifting system so that they could lift the ordnance from down here in the storage rooms up to the upper level where the guns were. Up top here is the Battery Dupertel. In this amphitheater-like area in front of us, there was a massive gun. I mean, absolutely massive. They could raise it or lower it. Actually, here's a picture of it. It was just absolutely massive. And when it hid behind the wall so it couldn't be damaged, and when they needed to fire, they just raised it up and fired. It's incredible. I bet that massive gun was probably ridiculously loud when it fired. You could probably hear it for miles. This is the upstairs part from where we were downstairs, where they carry the ammo, and they had a lift thingy here, and it would bring the ammo right up here, and they could load it out. Then there'd be guns up above us, guns on this level, everywhere. From up here, this would have been the lookout post where spotters could have seen out over the ocean, over the Mobile Bay. It's actually a great visual from up here of the beach and the water that's completely surrounding us. You can see the oil rig out there. It's magnificent. It looks like on this corner up here, there were 5 cannons all positioned right next to each other. If anyone tried to enter from this direction, I can only imagine they probably would have gotten destroyed. And there were even more gun positions here. Well, actually, they're all the way around this whole, man, this place was heavily fortified. They had a bunch of guns lined up here that could rotate all around. This is the ordnance sergeant who would have given out ammo, gunpowder, those type things. And there's one of the real cannons, a surviving cannon. It's awesome. It would have set right up in that hole, and so they could have protected this fort. This place is just absolutely awesome. It's just incredible that it's still standing after all these years. They even have a jail. Actually, I think this was probably more ammo storage, but there's a jail cell like door put up. They would also had like carts they could have rolled on these tracks. There's almost like train tracks, and they had carts they could have rolled to carry ammo from this side to that side. You know, when you're in a battle and you're in a hurry and you need ammo. I definitely encourage, if you can ever make your way to Gulf Shores, make sure you come check out Fort Morgan. Uh-oh, that's not good. Now, we didn't come in this way, but in wartime, to get into the fort, you had to go in and out through this long brick tunnel that would have had doors and guards to monitor who could come in and out. So it would have been the only way to get in and out of the fort. Now, several hundred yards inland, they also built a couple of other batteries or gun stations to monitor the beachfront on down. These down here at this end, though, they are blocked off, so we can't go in them. I'm not sure what this building was. There's not much left of it, and I have no clue what it was. I don't see a name on this one either, but obviously these aren't kept up. You can see this one's falling apart, and it's even flooded. That's why they have it roped off so you can't go in. Apparently it's dangerous. Well, that's it for Fort Morgan. We are going to start heading back up the peninsula, back to Gulf Shores Parkway, so that we can get on I-10 and start heading home. several months back over in Georgia, we went to a Buc-ee's, and that was actually my first interaction with Buc-ee's. But one of the things about coming to Gulf Shores is there's a Buc-ee's in Gulf Shores, like the only one in the state of Alabama. It's the Buc-ee's Beach Express location. I am back on pump number 222, and I'm gonna go ahead and fill up. I'm gonna go in Buc-ee's for a few minutes. It was awesome, the one I went to before, so this one should be fun as well. Yeah, this place is packed. There's so many people in this Buc-ee's, it is crazy. It's just way too busy in there to do anything. Like I said, if you didn't believe me, we're at gas pump number 222. That is gonna do it for this video today. If you're new here, please go down, hit that subscribe button, then hit that notification bell so you get notified every time I upload a video. If you wanna help support the channel, check out the links in the description box below. It helps us keep making videos like this. Thank you all. I will see you all again tomorrow. Please stay safe and stay healthy. And try to get to the beach before long. It's always a lot of fun.